Hello, entrepreneurs. Joe DeCharis, CPA extraordinaire, coming to you live from downtown Bethpage, Long Island, New York, for another amazing episode of How to Win at Business. And tonight, breaking news, folks. I couldn't wait to get on and share this with you. As a tax professional, I get constant emails from the IRS newsroom, things that the general public doesn't get. A lot of it is mishmash, self promotion, things that they say that they're doing right. And for once, I get some really good news. But before I get into that, if you're watching live, give me a hashtag live. If you're watching a replay, give me a hashtag replay. And if you're not watching, you don't have to give me any hashtag because you're missing out on this excellent breaking news. It's not only excellent for taxpayers, for business owners, but especially for people like me, tax preparers that are already swamped and overwhelmed with the short tax season filing that they give us. It's amazing. We go through the whole year. It takes time for information to get out there, and then they give us, basically between February 1st and March 15th to file business returns. That's 6 weeks, and then we get another 4 weeks to file individual returns. Now you're talking about tens of millions of tax returns that have to be filed in a short period. Uh, it's a lot. It's a lot, folks. But in between all this, you still got to deal with the regular mumbo jumbo tax notices, and they have been coming. They have been coming in droves, more than I've seen in my 40 years in accounting. And there's reasons for that. The refunds for some reason stopped, but the letters didn't stop, amazingly. And what's really frustrating is most of those letters were wrong. They were wrong. There's a sequence of letters that have to go, and let me just show you. Well, before I get into that, if any of this resonates with you, if you want to connect with me, just go to Time with Joe. If you have any uh, questions or comments, please post in the chat box. Robert, yeah, I'm sorry if these notices, these daily notices annoy you, but all you got to do is, unfriend me or unlink with me on LinkedIn. Uh, but nothing I can do about that. You just have to know how the technology works. It's out of my control. Only people that are actually connected with me get these notices. So, if sorry to see you go, but that's out of my control, Robert. So back to the story, folks. For those of you that are in the United States, paying taxes, have to file forms. Uh, this is really great news. So let me show you what they're doing here. I'm going to take off the time with Joe. Like I said, if any of this resonates with you, if you want to book a free chat with me, just go to timewithjoe.com. If you want more information about our our service, our business, go to bedrockbusinessbuilders.com, and we would love to connect with you. So now you could see this is an email I get from the IRS, and what they say is they are going to suspend mailing of additional letters. Now, what they're talking about are these ACH letters, these automatic collection system letters that go out. It's all machine driven. So it's like getting on a mailing list, you just can't get off. So there's what they call a CP80, which is when you haven't filed a return. So imagine this. Imagine you filed a return, you're waiting for your refund, and then you get a letter saying you haven't filed your return. Meanwhile, you're calling your congressman, you're asking them to process, and this is what we're dealing with. Then you get a second notice. Your uh, first notice. I don't understand this. If there's an unfiled return notice, then the first notice should really be the second notice. Anyway, you get the idea. Uh, then you get a final notice, return delinquency. And it's the same thing with balance dues. You get a CP 501, that's your first notice. CP 503 is your second notice. CP 504 is the final due notice. When you get those collection notices from the collection agent, this is your last chance to pay. Well, this is what they call an intent to levy. And the next letter is, okay, we're taking your money. You have X amount of days to clear this up, but they're actually taking your money. Well, what happened last year is they skipped over the first two notices, and they were sending my clients, and not just my clients, probably millions of people, notice of intent to levy letters. Well, I would ask my client, because my clients know the deal is that when you get a notice, you send it to me. You take a picture of it, you text it to me so that we can, take care of it right away. Because most of the time, the notices from the IRS are incorrect. A lot of times, they might be asking for information, and believe it or not, a lot of times it's just junk mail. Whatever. They're just notifying you, hey, we're still here. Please, do blah blah blah. But anyway, so they would skip over the first two notices, and you get a final balance due, and you only have a certain amount of time to respond to that. In those cases, what would happen is I would have to get a power of attorney, wait on hold for 2 hours, finally get somebody and find out what the story was. Uh, so what they've done now, for the time being, they don't really give us a time period, but for right now, they're going to suspend sending these letters. Now, you might still get some letters are required by law to go out because there's statute of limitations, there's time constraints that have to be met. They don't mention which ones those are. Uh, and some notices might just slip through the cracks because of timing, whatever. They could have been mailed out, and the post office isn't perfect either, so they could have been mailed out and it'll take forever for it to get to you. But what's going to happen is, it seems that they're going to actually hold off on any kind of action, any kind of collection action, until they get caught up. So COVID knocked them out, like many other businesses. They're still struggling through it, and I could respect that. They have staffing issues like every other business in the United States and the world. So they fell behind, and that's understandable. The fact that they didn't stop these notices from going out a long time ago baffles my mind. Uh, but it is what it is. The fact is that they're going to stop them now. Hopefully, try to get caught up on the millions and millions of returns that they still haven't processed. They still haven't processed 2020 returns. My aunt only got her refund for 2020 last month. I talked about that a lot. We filed an amended return, and she's lucky. She's one of the lucky ones. I have another client that they're still waiting, and it's a substantial amount of money. It seems like the taxpayers that filed an amended return looking for a refund got put on the shelf. That's the truth. They're like, oh, we're sending money to them, so we'll just wait. But if they owe us money, we're gonna go after them. That's how it works. That's how it worked. That's not how it should work. Uh, but for right now, it looks like they're going to hold off on the collection process. Hopefully, 6 months to a year, because I don't know how long it's going to take them to actually catch up, if they'll ever catch up. But at least this will give us some breathing room to file this year's taxes, get this year under control, and let them clean up their mess. We didn't create it. And hopefully this will give us some relief, some much needed relief, some breathing room, and it's finally some good news from the IRS. Again, if you want to book some time with me, just go to timewithjoe.com. We also have a free mastermind that you can attend every Friday. If you're a business owner, you want to share your knowledge, experience, network with other business owners, we invite you to book a chat. It's just Time with Joe. And if you want to check out our website, it's bedrockbusinessbuilders.com. Okay, that's my story. I'm sticking with it. God bless. Thank you, and I will be back again.